welcome from Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. This is Day Drinking Nashville with Kimber and
Amy. And today we have with us Rich Eckhart, and he's going to tell you all about his So Nashville experiences. He lives right here in Mount Juliet in Wilson County, and we've been friends for several years. And he's got a whole lot of experience in the music business. But even more importantly, we decided to pull some wines today with Mmmmmm Brothers that are kind of celebrating his heritage. So talk about your heritage a little bit for us, Rich.
Well, both my mom and dad were native Austrian, so I'm first generation American. And so I've got a very strong connection to my Austrian roots. I still have family over there. Really, most of my family is still over there, aunts, uncles, cousins, everything. So I'll go back and visit frequently and really enjoy the country, particularly Salzburg, where The Sound of Music was shot. That's where my mom and dad grew up. So I just love that city. I actually probably know Salzburg better than I know Nashville, but I'll get lost in either one.
Especially now that everything's cranes all over the place.
that's what
As one goes overhead.
Right, and a plane, yes.
it's like our new, what is it?
Planes
They
and
said our
cranes.
new, our national bird for Tennessee, or our state bird, the crane.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, I remember pulling up I was on 40 pulling up to Mmmmmm, and I had to sit, and I counted 13 cranes in the air from just where I was sitting. Yeah, that was about 2 years ago.
That's what it's going to be on our new business cards. Nash Vegas Entertainment Group is going to just have just cranes.
Cranes.
No skyline, just cranes.
How about a big crane with a bottle of wine dumping
With a bottle of wine. I love
into the
that. Yeah,
glass?
that's cool.
That is good. That is good.
Gosh. Kimber, tell us about the wines that Mmmmmm Brother has so nicely pulled for us to try today.
This is so much fun. So this is going to be we're going to try the rosé, then we're going to go to the white. The rosé is actually going to be Hugl, and this is a Zweigelt, and this is a beautiful rosé. This is two different types of grapes, varietal, that are pulled together to make the 100% Zweigelt. St Laurent and it's Blaufrankisch grapes.
And here's the really fun part. We have a guy that can probably pronounce it, so let's hand it over to him.
Yeah.
Don't count on me, especially after a glass or two.
I get really good at Austrian after a glass or two.
Everybody speaks German after a glass of wine.
Well, I love it because it's got this little sparkling to it, which is just
nice.
so
That
nice.
is nice.
It's very refreshing because we all need something very nice and refreshing.
You know what we didn't do? We didn't get our sound man and production man a glass, but I think he can grab one behind him. Look right behind you.
Yes.
Yeah. Come on, production. Where's my hot production crew?
He's coming.
All right.
He's on this.
You need
On
some.
the stemless.
John Billings, a.k.a.
Stemless.
my trophy husband.
Oh my God.
All right.
Enjoy.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers! Yay!
Prost.
Little day drinking.
Thank you guys.
In Austria, they would say Prost.
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 Oh, that's delicious. Oh, my
That's
goodness.
really good.
Okay,
I didn't expect the sparkling aspect until you poured.
Right.
But that's really good.
That is so nice. It was actually created, the varietal was created by Dr. Fritz Zweigelt in 1922.
A doctor.
It's doctor.
Doctor
Was he a doctor of wine? Yeah.
And it's the most widely planted red varietal in Austria. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yes.
What's
You're,
the
you're
grape
probably going to
varietal?
find that I know very little about Austrian wine.
So 9% of all wineries in Austria have this varietal.
Tell me the name of it one more time.
Zweigelt.
Zeiger. Okay, let's hand Rich the bottle. Rich, how would you pronounce anything that looks not
This is
English?
Hugelwein.
Hugelwein.
Hugelwein. Secco. Hugelwein.
We're just
Yeah.
going to punch that in over and over. How does it go again, John?
Hugelwein. Hugelwein.
Well,
Do you know what region, like whereabouts they're manufacturing?
It actually, it's, oh my goodness, it starts with a P. I totally forgot. Like I know
I know that
this.
place.
The
The
ci-
PLA
city?
City.
I'm not sure.
It's kind of in the middle, actually.
Kind of in
The
the middle
middle
of
is so near Vienna, probably a suburb
Yes,
of
the
Vienna.
suburb of Vienna.
Nice. Well, it's really refreshing.
It is.
Yeah, it really
It's got
is.
that almost like that strawberry cherry.
I was just thinking strawberry
Like,
was actually what I was going for first.
I mean, this would be perfect for like a picnic day if you want to have a little picnic lunch, but a brunch. This is
Yeah, like a
perfect.
Sunday
this is-
brunch kinda
it's
thing, yeah.
Perfect.
Ooh, yeah, I think we're going to have this here for Sunday brunch.
Yeah,
This would be nice.
that's good. The good Hugelwein.
So, Kimber, maybe we can go for a glass of this while we're all talking for a little bit, and then we'll try the
absolutely.
second wine.
Well, that means we need more.
That means we need more. How do you say fill her up in Austrian?
Yes.
Yeah, bitte.
Right, let's do that. What he said. Oh my gosh, so Rich, I am so glad you're here, and we have a connection. I think the funny part is that there was this is all of our connection, which Kimber doesn't know actually. So I think on one of the very first episodes, we talked about how Kimber is actually what was your title?
Well, the Mrs. Tennessee,
Mrs. Tennessee.
USA, and then I won Mrs. Tennessee Globe, and then in 2016, the National Miss for Tennessee, then I ended up winning the National.
Right. I mean,
So I can't figure out how I'm connected to that.
because you're connected to that because my very last gig was playing for Carolyn Corlew,
Right.
who was Charlie Daniels' singer and backup singer, and she actually won Miss Wilson Senior. I accompanied her, did an arrangement of a song. She won,
Yes.
and then we went back in Charlie's studio, and I played the song. She took that to Miss Tennessee Senior,
Well, actually,
right?
and
She won, and then she took it. I came in and did with Bruce Brown and a couple other guys, and we did two of my arrangements, and we played for her on tracks, which she took to Atlantic City and won Miss Senior America. And Kimber and Carolyn know each other through that circuit.
okay.
She was getting the award from the Chamber of Commerce for the city for winning that title. And that's the night that I met you, because I got invited to come out since I had played for her on that gig, so to speak.
Yeah.
And of course, being me, I was late.
Not you.
So whatever she said about me that I heard was really nice, I missed all of it. And then we all went to dinner at Sammy B's, and that was the night I met you. And we all met up for drinks another time. I just figured it was
And that's why it wasn't
funny.
awkward, because I knew David and Carolyn
Right.
and everything. And so when she invited me, I was like, oh yeah, I'd love to go.
That's
to that. Yeah.
hilarious. So
Yeah.
that's where I met Rich. And then we kind of stayed in contact a little bit, and I was so excited for him because I saw that he was starting he was actually in the very first run of the startup of Resurrection, a Journey tribute.
Journey trivia, yeah.
Yeah, and so we kind of kept contact, and I thought, oh, how cool is that? And I think you must have given my name to Vic, and Vic, which Kimber knows.
Yes.
I mean, this is so Nashville. This town is like, what,
Yeah.
3 degrees, not even how many degrees of Kevin Bacon. We're like way less than that. We're probably all related anyway, but so then you were playing with that band, and ended up being, it's just one of the best Journey tributes I've ever heard. But you were playing lead guitar with that band.
Right.
And that's, I brought John, my trophy husband, as my date to go see Rich after Vic asked me to come play a song, which I probably clammed up like a little bit, for the opening. And to get
It was like a Jonathan Cain sound-alike competition or something that they were doing, some silly thing. Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
It was just, and so I went to 3rd and Lindsley, which a lot of people know as the Nashville landmark, and that part was just really cool. But I had just met John Billings, and literally 2 days before, and that was our very first date.
Oh,
And then John ended up playing some with that band also.
Yeah, I was his wifeager on our first date. I hadn't even married him yet. I said, you guys need to know him in case you ever need a sub. And sure enough.
So how many years ago? Because I'm trying to think too. Because I remember going to see Journey Resurrection, and it was like many years ago.
This was their very first show. It was your first
So
show at 3rd
I
and
think
Lindsley?
I think that we started that band 6 or 7 years ago.
It was at least 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so probably 7, yeah.
Because Christopher, I was trying to think of when. I know in 17, when I'd won the national, I went backstage to say hello
my
to the
gosh.
entire
I was
band.
probably there. He was probably there.
You were.
I'm
I
sure,
had to
yeah.
go back and look through some pictures to see. Oh
How
my gosh,
funny.
that is crazy.
Yep, so there's
Yep.
Nashville. That's a So Nashville moment. Cheers to that.
Yes, cheers, cheers, cheers.
Oh my gosh. And then I got to know Rich, and John got to know Rich, and they were out and doing some shows and went on cruises together and things like that.
We actually roomed together at every available opportunity.
You got to see him in his underwear, and
That's right.
now you know why I admire him so much. But
bonding time.
And he's a good bass player.
And he's a great bass player. And you're a great guitar player. And I want to hear about,
Yes.
tell us who that you're with right now.
Oh, well, I've been with Toby Keith for the last 23 years, so that's not really news anymore, but been with him a long, long time. Played with a bunch of people before that, prior to that. The interesting thing, when I started with him, there was no audition, there was no rehearsal.
Really?
And our first show was in front of 80,000 people.
Oh,
Yeah.
How'd you get the gig?
Just through reputation. I mean, I actually first met Toby at his #1 party for Should Have Been a Cowboy, which was his first hit.
Yes.
And, it was just kind of, a thing that I got invited to and just mingling about it. And I thought it was so cool that Billboard magazine was there and taking pictures. And Toby included the band in all the pictures. And a lot of artists don't do that.
Right.
But he's always looked at this as a band. He's often said, I've only been in one band ever. Some of the band members have changed, but I've only always had the one band. So he just always thinks of it as a band. And so I told him, I said, this is really great that you include your band. And it could have just been him with the gold record, but it's like him and his band with this gold record. And so that was the first time I met him. And then throughout the years, I'd be playing with other people and we'd be on the same festival together and the same, I remember there was a Christmas show. It was Toby, Joe Diffie, and John Barry, when I was playing with John Barry. And so John had just put out a Christmas album, so we did all Christmas stuff. This was at Universal Amphitheater in LA. And Joe Diffie did a bunch of Christmas stuff. Toby Keith did one Christmas song in his show, and the rest of it was just balls to the walls, Toby Keith country, because that's what he does. And I thought, this is the coolest guy in country music ever.
Wow.
And then, so it was just all these chance meetings, and then his guitar player had given notice, and my name came up as somebody to replace him. And he quit midsummer tour. He didn't quit over the winter when everybody's laying low. So they were going strong.
Wow.
So they needed somebody right away. And my name came up, and so they hired me, sight unseen.
Wow.
But they knew me through
Right.
many, many
Right.
years of, 6 or 7 years of just kind of running into this guy. So that's pretty much how I got it. And then my first show was my audition. It's if I
Wow.
fell on my face, then I'd be out of there. But here I am,
Wow.
23 years later. So I guess I did a good
That's
job.
amazing. That's
That
really
is-
cool.
that is really
And that's
good.
also a testament to what I kind of hit on last time when we were talking about when I started to talent buy. And then I didn't know certain worlds of music, including jazz musicians. And they, everybody, once you're kind of in that, Nashville people help each other. And they try they won't refer
Absolutely.
somebody that they don't think can do the job. I mean,
Big time.
but they will help you if they think that you can. And
Yeah.
so I think what you just described is like a perfect example
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah, because the steel player, Toby's steel player at the time, Johnny Helms, who I owe a great deal of gratitude to, he went to Toby and said, I've got 2 guys that I can recommend. One of them's in Nashville, one of them's in Texas. Now, they were out of Oklahoma. So I think that they had the best player in Oklahoma already. That's the guy that quit. And so they didn't know where else to go. So, and Johnny said, or Toby asked him, well, who do you think's a better player? He goes, I think the guy in Nashville is a better player. So that was me. And so Toby said, all right, let's give him a try.
And 23 years later,
That's
that's a good
Wow.
run.
That
That is a
is.
good run.
That
Yeah, and
is.
still going strong. He's got a new single out now that debuted at number 23 or something
Wow.
silly. So
23 for 23. That's awesome.
23
yeah, yeah, that's
Which
right.
happens to be my favorite number if anybody asks. Just
Is it really?
Yeah.
Did you know that was my number when I was at Tennessee?
No!
Seriously. That's weird.
It is a pretty awesome number.
That is pretty weird.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's see. I actually want to hear about some of the other people you've played for.
Yeah.
I played very briefly with Shania Twain, but very, very briefly. It was kind of they were putting the band together and trying different combinations, and they needed a better vocalist. They needed a guy that could sing tenor. They loved my guitar playing, they liked me as a person, but they needed somebody that could do what I do and sing tenor. So I did a couple of television shows with her. I also played with John Barry, as I mentioned, Becky Hobbs, Mel McDaniel. I was with Mel for a while. I know you know Mel. And I played with a lot of people since Toby. Those were all people that I played with before.
Okay.
Oh, Eddie Raven was a big one. He
did
was
you?
my first
Oh.
real road gig. Was out with Eddie Raven, and that was another one. I was recommended. No rehearsal, no audition. Oh, I'm sorry. We did rehearse, but no audition. It was just like, hey, I heard you were good. I want you in my band.
That's
Wow.
good.
So that was really
about
cool.
that?
But yeah, since Toby, I've played with Rodney Atkins on his way up. I played with Blake Shelton on his way up. Yeah, and so there's been a bunch of other people. I'm forgetting some of them now, but
I'm remembering some of them as you're talking. I do want to hit on the Mel McDaniel thing because that's another huge connection we have because it's so funny. Kimber and I did a very primary episode. We were talking about like what was so Nashville, and all the country music artists lived. I lived in Indian Lake area of Hendersonville, and we always talk about how unusual it was. And Mel McDaniel actually lived. He didn't live in Indian Lake, but he lived right up the street in Hendersonville. And I knew Mel because literally, him and his wife. I knew his daughter. I used to spend the night at their house and sit at their kitchen table. And I was a little kid, and Mel would put me on his lap. And he was just like a sweet. He was always the sweetest man, and he just was treated me like. I always thought he was wonderful. I mean, he was just the sweetest man. And so that's how I knew him. And I didn't know what he sang.
Right.
Well, John's dad passed away a couple years ago. And his friend Tyler, if you're listening, got so excited because he was telling me that he saw Mel McDaniel play at the Grand Ole Opry with John's dad. And that was like the highlight of their Nashville years that they, trips that they came here. And when I found out you played for Mel, I just about passed out.
That is great.
Mel was always a highlight on the Opry board.
Yeah.
When we hit that stage, people would get up on their feet. It was amazing. It was really a great thing to be a part of.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so what was the Baby's
Baby's got her blue jeans on.
Baby's got her blue jeans on.
Louisiana Saturday Night. Stand
Love
Up,
that
Stand On It. He had a bunch of hits.
Yeah.
He was a good artist, really solid artist. Yeah.
Wow.
God, Louisiana Saturday Night, I used to sing that.
Isn't that
Louisiana
cool?
Yeah.
And he used to play that.
I used to play that. Yeah, actually, I had mentioned earlier. There's actually 3 guys in Toby's band that all played with Mel McDaniel separately. We never played together.
Wow.
But yeah, we all played with him separately. And we just had a day off out in Oregon, and there was a street festival going on. So we went out there, and there was a cover band up there, and they were playingLouisiana Saturday Night.
I love it.
And we were sitting there going, boy, if they only knew 3 Mel McDaniel
They were right
players
here.
were
Oh
sitting
my
right
gosh.
there listening to him. Yeah, it's
Seriously.
crazy, yeah.
That is pretty nice.
And they're probably listening to this and going, oh my gosh, I was there. And they were right there.
That was me, yeah.
Wow, that was probably the best version of they ever heard since Mel was alive. That's amazing.
It is.
Kimber, I'm going to have a new topic with Rich in a minute because I know something that everybody's about to flip over when I bring it up.
Oh.
But before we do we want to switch? Let's
We
feature our
can.
new wine. our
Yeah,
other wine.
let me finish this one.
Chug it. It should be chugging with Kimber and Amy.
Drew's getting
Hey,
sick.
Rick.
I think day drinking comes up.
Drew's sobering up.
Yeah, there's some other people over here that look, this is sad.
The
This is very
camera's still in
sad.
focus. We need a little more drink. We need a little more.
We're going to talk about this one. This is the Hugl one, the Grüner Veltliner. And this is actually a collaboration between Sylvia and Martin Hugl, which I met him a couple of years ago. He came to Nashville, which I was super excited from Austria. I was like, oh my gosh, and your accent, and you look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I was telling him, just look, so
That's
just,
great.
it was fantastic. And so we're going to try this next one. It is so yummy and so delicious, and I think you've actually had this.
Oh,
Ever.
I'm not sure.
And so this is a white wine that is absolutely fantastic. Cannot wait for you to try this.
I'm not sure that I've actually had this brand.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we
So,
need
this
him over
label.
here.
On my way.
Here he comes,
Yes.
my trophy husband
Here he
and
comes.
the production crew.
Production crew.
The whole
So they all, yes, cheers.
Oh, how do we say it?
Prost.
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 John's got it.
We're going to have to do that when we go.
Yes.
When we
Both
go,
of
are
them
you going?
grew up actually
We're going to
in
have to go.
winery
Oh,
families.
delicious.
I know, look, I was waiting to see your face.
Man.
Like the nose on this is crazy yummy.
You know what I like? It has like
Boy,
that.
that is good.
That I always use the word minerality, but it's
know.
probably not even a real word. But I like it, and that's what I get out of the on the nose.
Yes.
What do you think?
Yes.
Come on in, Diddy.
We always have,
We have
so
we have
many
another guest.
fun artists coming in. Yes, because this one, so they have 74 acres that they have planted, and they have, one of the things about when you're growing wine in Austria, I don't know if you know this or not, but there's several wines per the, there's laws for every country, but several wines have to be planted in the vineyards, and this is actually one of the ones that they actually plant. It is vinified. It's stainless steel. There's no oak on it, so you won't get any oak on it. But you should pick up that exotic fruit.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right about
it's
it.
funny because Austria is better known for their beers, but this is a wonderful wine.
great.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
It's like citrus and
All right, put a little more in here, Kimber, because it is day drinking. The name of the show is Day Drinking, not day sipping.
It is day drinking. You're
Day
right.
tasting.
Right. Because I actually have the next. Well, first off, I'd really actually like to ask Rich to do the honors of pronouncing everything on this label, so
Oh, please.
that we don't sound like
Yes,
Nashville.
Grüne Veltliner, Hügelwein Grüne Veltliner.
I love it.
Okay, John, can you punch that in again?
Yes. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
That is really an amazing wine.
Seafood. This right here would be. You
Oh,
could
yeah.
pair that with seafood.
I could
That'd
just
be fantastic.
I could just have this
summer salad
like this.
Who needs to
I'll
see
have
food?
some
Easy to-
wine with a side of wine. Oh man, that is amazing. Yeah, we're definitely having that in this bar. So Wine Down Nashville, we'll
Yeah, that's
bringing that
fantastic.
in.
Fantastic.
That's really good. Yeah.
So I have to ask him a question before you go into your
Okay.
story. So this is a question I always have to ask. What is your favorite thing about Nashville?
Favorite thing about Nashville? Well, I can say that it used to be that it was a big city with a small town feel,
Yes.
but that's changed
Yes.
since then. So now I just like that I'm able to sustain a career here. I think that's my favorite thing
That
about
is
Nashville
amazing.
now.
That's great.
That
Yes.
that I'm able to be a player in such a great city.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, this
And
is
a
where
very
you want to come.
competitive city.
And this is where you want to come. This is where all the every great player from every small town in America comes to Nashville to try to succeed, and it's just great to be a part of that. And
Yeah, you've actually lived the Nashville dream.
yeah, kind of, sort of.
Yes.
And I'm able to help other people now that I'm established. I can help other people and try to guide them.
And you do a good job at that. I've seen you do that with a couple, especially the tribute bands around town, because some of those players are really amazing.
Yeah. It's harder now. I don't think I would want to come to Nashville now and try to break in. I think it's much, much harder now than it was. It's become more of a business.
Right.
Yeah.
Because growing up here, as we've always talked about, it's so nice because it was always a very tight knit group of people, and it still is to a point where I don't know, everybody seems to know each other, which is nice.
Yeah.
But it has. I mean, I've seen
As we
Nashville
established
change.
with our-
As we
Yes, our 1 degree
Finding
of
out
separation
stuff.
probably.
I was saying that. Now I'm very curious with what you said that you wanted to ask some questions about.
I want to talk about something that he has skipped over completely. All of a sudden, here comes the show Nashville. And it just sort of we were kind of already getting on the map, and that's the thing that just blew it out of the water.
That's very true.
So I want to know, how do you have a connection with Nashville? Because, you can call on me. I'm going to raise my hand because I know the answer. But
I don't.
I do. And I used to sit and go, there's Rich. And I'd hold up my little lighter and burn my finger, and then I'd just grab a drink.
I did 4 seasons on Nashville as the guitarist and band leader for Luke Wheeler.
Oh my
On the
gosh,
show,
that
yeah.
is amazing.
And, yeah, it
Which
was-
I watched every episode. Now I had to go back and
Yeah,
where
now you
is
gotta go
Rich
back
at?
and
And all
read.
these.
Yeah, they actually gave me dialogue on one episode, which was interesting because the week that I did dialogue, I wasn't a band. Like we had pretty much the same band for all 4 seasons, but that week I was a co-star,
I
and
love
so
it.
I had my
I
own
love
dressing
it.
trailer. I had a stand-in,
I love it.
which was crazy, and but it was so much fun, and we did a bunch of episodes, and it was just learning the songs and playing them on camera and all that. But yeah, it was. I really enjoyed it. I worked with different directors. Eric Stoltz was my first director. You remember Eric Stoltz from Mask and so many other films.
Yes.
Really wonderful actor. He was our first director on an episode that I did. And it was really funny. The very first scene that we shot was a backstage after party. And in the dressing room of Luke Wheeler, there's a bar and a bartender and 100 people, hanging out, drinking, having a good. I was like, I have been on the road for 30 years. I have never seen this backstage ever. I'm on the wrong tour. This is
Best writer ever.
Yeah. But that was fun. But we did, it was a lot of performance
Yes.
things, and I had a lot of directors go, "You're so much fun to watch play." So I was just basically doing what I do out on the road with
That
Toby
is
every day, and
amazing.
just bringing it to the show. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That
It was a lot of fun.
That is. Well,
And if you've
cheers to
ever seen,
that.
I
That
know,
is
cheers
like,
to that.
yeah.
If you've ever seen Rich, he really is a showman. I mean,
Oh, thank you. That's nice. I'm just
that's
trying-
true. I
trying to
love
keep up with
watching
this
you
one.
play.
I've stole everything I know from Ted Nugent. I'm just mocking Ted Nugent on stage. That's my whole shtick is. I'm surprised I don't wear a raccoon tail and loincloth when I'm up there performing.
Little hat.
So
Yeah.
as a teenager, did you do that in the mirror?
No, you know what? I never did. I never did. I never stood in front of a mirror and performed. No, I probably wouldn't want to see that.
Well, I'm just telling you, you do a great job.
Yeah.
You always
No,
look great on camera.
it's always just kind of been fun, and if you're having fun, they're having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think about the show Nashville? I mean, did you think it was, other than the parties being way more extravagant than you actually get, but how did you think they did, like, as a show to portray the city?
Oh, I think it showed the city in a beautiful light. I mean, I watched the show Nashville and went, I'd like to go to Nashville.
Right.
It's amazing.
Yes.
Such a beautiful city. But one of the things that, and this is just my little criticism, but the artists, and I understand why they did it, but the artists the actors that were portraying the artists on the shows, they were always a little too excited to play the Bluebird. and a little too excited, and everybody in Nashville caught on to one of the songwriters on the show got a check for $400,000 for his first royalty. Now you can get some serious money, but it's not $400,000.
Well, you know what? What have I always said about the Bluebird on the other side of town? What is that? What have I always said to you?
What have you, I know, I'll have to tell you, I feel very honored. Most of our customers that come in here tell me that I've created this place to become the Bluebird of touring musicians. And I really appreciate that, because I feel like that's my life mission. I really do.
Yeah.
I feel like growing up around it and then marrying into it, being a musician, in my own mind, and then in the living room, doing a few things. But honestly, I feel like that is my life mission. And I really think that it is what makes Nashville so unique and special
is.
as a city.
Yes.
And I don't want it to ever get lost. And so you cracked me up with our new motto. What is it?
Oh, right. It's more steel guitar, less pedal. No, more steel guitar, less steel.
More steel pedal.
More steel. More
pedal steel.
More pedal steel. Say I'm about to. More pedal.
We need editing.
Take two.
Take two.
More pedal steel, less pedal taverns.
That's right, exactly. Cheers to that.
I got
Cheers
it out.
to that.
When you get behind one too, it's kind of like, especially when I'm working, it's like, okay, not today. Like, I gotta be somewhere. Pedal faster, people. Pedal faster.
It's become a great city to come and visit. If you want to just go and hear some of the greatest musicians in the world, this is the place to come. And it's great, for that. And I love that the city's so successful with bringing that.
Right.
It has been. And with you being here as long as you have, and Amy and myself, and we've all lived here and growing up here, I really feel like, does our cameraman, do you need some more?
I haven't had to move focus and shift focus. Okay.
His eye, are you still, how many fingers am I holding
Yeah,
up?
everything's a little fuzzy.
One of the things that...
If you know the answer, you need a refill.
Yes, that is correct, yes. Is just the amount of people that have transplanted from other places. That's where I was going with this, because, growing up just the little down the street, Mount Juliet, Lebanon area, of course, that's where you're at too, and then Hendersonville. It was always where you kind of knew somebody all the time. There's so many new people that live in Nashville now. I had a neighbor that was from California that just made it, but they're all like coming here because it's quiet. It's not hustle and bustled so much. I can look out my back door and this morning, just this morning, 2 bobcats are in the tree behind my house fighting.
Oh my
2
goodness.
bobcats. I'm going, you won't see this anywhere else. Just,
Right.
this is outside of Nashville. This is how, it's quiet. We love it. But I think a lot of people, they find out how amazing this town is and how wonderful it is, and they come here to visit and they move here. And I see that more and more
Yeah.
and more. And it is a great town. It's a great town to raise your children. It's a great town to live in, especially if you're in the music industry. No matter what genre you are, I mean, it could be anything.
Yeah.
This is like the place to be, and I think people that live in LA and New York and different places are finding out, oh, Nashville is the it place.
Well, it's funny because when I moved here 32 years ago, 1989, and I was not a country player, but the city of Nashville appealed to me.
Yes.
You know, because people were so friendly and nice, and it really was, it was less expensive than LA or New York by a long shot at the time, and I was like, wow, this sounds like something.
Yeah, it is.
So,
you know,
yeah,
and
give it a
also
shot.
I think that, you know, people are friendly. I talk about that all the time. It's a common thread.
That was a big thing, is how friendly people were. Because I
Yeah.
remember before I moved here, I was doing business with some people in New York I was trying to help them, and they were being rude to me on the phone. And then I'd call Nashville looking for an apartment, and everybody was so nice and helpful. And I was like, yeah, I'm making the right choice going to Nashville.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I remember, you know, years ago working in a job, and my boss was from New Jersey, and no offense to New Jersey, because I have lots of friends from there. But this particular person said, you know, why are you so happy all the time? And y'all are you're just so nice. I think it's fake. And I'm like, huh?
I bet you didn't say y'all, though.
No, she didn't say y'all. You're right. That was in my brain. You can't beat it out.
Why are you so happy all
Why
the time?
is you so happy?
That's true. But I thought, wow, that's so sad to have that perspective in life, because people here truly, they mean it.
Yes.
They mean it.
Absolutely.
They're genuine.
Yes.
I mean, people go, I don't think that's real, that's fake. But it's not fake.
It's not.
fake.
It's not.
We're not naive, but we are nice.
And you know what? A lot of suppliers that come in to Nashville that you will do ride with, and I'll take them to different places all over town, the retail stores. They always say every time when we get finished for the day, you've been so nice, and everybody here is so nice.
Yes.
I mean, I hear it from every single
It's
supplier.
Southern hospitality, and that is a real thing.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is.
Real thing.
So I have to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Being now that you've been here in Nashville for so long, for Austria, what do you miss most about there? And what did you love most about there? So I'm
About
gonna
Austria?
Yes.
Well, I got to make clear, I'm not from Austria.
Okay.
Just my
Your
family
family,
is.
your
But
family.
but I've been going since I was 5 years old.
Yes.
I've been visiting there, and my family is there. But people work to make money so that they can live their lives, and that seems to be all across Europe. Here, people become their jobs.
Yes.
You know, it's like they live and breathe and die for their jobs. And over there, it's like, hey, I'm going to work from 9 to 5 with a long lunch in the middle, and then I'm going to go home to my family and have a nice big dinner. And it's I don't know, I just really like that. But I'm exactly the opposite. I live and breathe my job.
Right.
But I love everything about the attitude that Europeans bring to the table.
Yes.
They love just living life and, hanging out at the Trevi Fountain and, having a glass of wine.
Yes.
And I think that's fantastic. And I think we need more of that here. I think people need to enjoy life a little bit more here.
I agree.
A little more
Yeah.
day
Yep.
drinking.
Little more day drinking, people.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I have to agree. Okay, cheers
Cheers
to
to that. Yes.
Rich, this has been a really great time. Is there anything that I've missed that you think our listeners might want to know?
No, they know more about me than I ever had hoped.
So I have a question. So you did play, I think you said Blake Shelton.
Play with Blake, yeah.
Yeah, so, what in that stint of whereabout was that when he first started, in the middle?
It
kinda
was
where he's
right
now?
before, I can tell you by hits, it was right before, because he played for me on the bus. He goes, hey, I just tracked this song, and he put it in on a CD, and he played Some Beach.
Yes.
And he played that for me, and I was like, "You got a big hit with this one." So it was right before Some Beach came out, and so he had already had a bunch of hits
Yes.
already, but he wasn't Blake Shelton. He wasn't the big star that he is now.
Yeah.
I will tell you, this is a true story. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I could say other words for that, but you can't make this stuff up. But I was in a golf tournament one time I'm trying to remember exactly, it was for Special Olympics. Don Ellis Gatlin, I remember, and it was with him, and Blake had just first come on the scene. And I just remember him showing up, had a mullet. Oh God.
Oh yeah, he had the mullet when I
Had
played
a
with him.
mullet, and he showed up in his cowboy boots, and we're playing in a golf tournament. And so we actually kind of got paired in our little group of people, and I was like, "Are you gonna play all 18 holes of golf in those boots?" He said, "Yes, ma'am, I sure am." I'm like, "Okay." So, sure, we play all 18 holes. That night, or that late afternoon, we get back, and I said, "How's your feet feel?" And he said, "Well, they're a little sore right now." I said, "I bet they are." So I remember very vividly sitting down. It was in a little group setting like this, and I guess at the time his manager stood up and just said, "Hey, everybody, I want y'all to remember this name. This is going to be Blake Shelton. He's going to be a huge hit in Nashville." And it's just so amazing to watch the transformation from that moment to where he is today.
Well, nobody deserves it more. He's a really great guy.
He was so nice.
Yeah,
So
he's
nice.
He takes good care of his band and his people around him. Yeah, he's a good guy.
That's good to
I
hear.
love it.
I love it when people, at the end of the day, you just want to know, when you meet a celebrity, I mean, the biggest thing is, are they nice?
Mm-hmm.
Do they appreciate their fans? What kind of person are they? I mean, you can have the best hit in the world, but really at the end of the day, are they a cool person?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and he was great. I mean, I got called, and this sounds like a brag, but I got called with 2 days' notice to play with him. And his guitar player just quit, they just played that weekend, and they just quit. So they called me, and I said, "Well, Blake, I've got 2 days to learn your material." He goes, "I can't think of anybody else that I can call that would do a better job in 2 days' notice than
That's
you."
awesome.
And I was like, "God bless you, I won't let you down."
That's some good motivation.
I did what I could. Yeah.
That's some good
Awesome.
motivation.
It is. That is.
Well, I love that. Well, I really appreciate you being here, Rich.
It was fun. Thanks for having me.
So glad that we've become friends over the years, and I really appreciate you not letting us botch the names of these wines. So maybe we'll go over them one more time.
And these are wonderful wines too. Yeah, I'm
so
so
good.
glad.
All right,
we
let's
got
say
to
them one
sample
more
these.
time just because it's so hot. Go ahead. Let's read them.
We love it when you say it too. It's so beautiful.
The Hugl Grüne Veltliner.
Sounds like a commercial.
Can we take a break?
And Hugl Secco. Hugl Secco.
Oh,
I love that. That is very hot.
yes, it is. Yes.
And thank you to Lippman Brothers, and we will be bringing these here to Wine Down Nashville. So if you want to know where to have a little glass or, a big glass, come here to Wine Down Nashville. We're here in the heart of Donaldson, which is in Nashville, Tennessee, and do the honors one more time.
Yes.
Give us a toast.
Oh, Prost.
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 Prost zum Wohl.
Cheers.